let's start with the second part of the video. So I think you have gone through with the part 1 video regarding the third lesson of the grade 6 citizenship education subject, English medium. So now we are going to continue the lesson with the next subtopic of the civic education subject. I mean, in the third lesson of the civic education subject, right? So we have to start from the 3.4 subtopic. Let us distinguish between the good and the bad. So this is something very easy for you to understand. So you must understand, or you must know what are the good things and what are the bad things. You must clarify the difference between those things, and you must know some examples for those things before you face for the exams in the third term test, right? So when you consider about this the distinguish between, I mean, the differences between the good and the bad, so you must take it out from different scenarios. Anyhow, first of all, you have to talk about, or you have to know about the goods in society. What are the good things that you can see in the society, right? So when you consider about the education, right, so when you consider about the education, you could see that if you can find out the good education in that society, that means you can get more knowledge from the society, right? So when the education is highly advanced in that in the society, then you can get more knowledge from the educational sector of that society, right? And also you can become a scholar. Scholar means a good student and a clever student with the education that you have gained from the society. And then the other thing is foundation for a good life. You know that if you are an educated person, that means definitely there's a high percentage of, or the probability of in your life to be a good life, right? So definitely you can get that thing. You can be, or you can spend the life in a good manner if you have a good education in you, right? So study your religion and follow it, right? So be religious, to be very disciplined, right? And also to be well behaved, and also to mental, for you having a good mental awakening, right? That mental awakening means you must have, always you must think that you are living, right? Always be conscious when you are there in the world, right? When you are thinking about yourself, always you must think about the things as it is, right? So you should not be there in a dream world, right? So that's why I'm telling you, so follow the religion, right? If you're following the religion, you can be a mental awakening person. Then the other thing is become a prestigious and restrained person, right? Prestigious, you know that meaning, and also restrained person, right? So having a good background with a good, religion, you can get those things for your personal development. And follow good health habits and lead a healthy life, right? Be healthy, then you can be a healthy person. And select an appropriate dress code when you are dressing. I mean, when you are wearing dress, you must concern about the dress that you are wearing for the situation, for the place, and to where you are using the, or wearing the dress code, you must concern about that part also. And also it has to be a relaxed one, right? And also it should give you the honor from the society, right? And use mass media, right? But use all these internet, telephone, and visual media, other things, right? Radio, other things, carefully, right? So when you are using the media, I mean the mass media, you can save the time of gathering information and gain pleasure and knowledge. You can get the pleasure and knowledge from the mass media and polish up the way of thinking, right? You can think more than what you know, right? If you get the information from the mass media, update knowledge, you know that you can be an updatable person, right? And also when you concern about associate with good friends, right? If you have good friends, what you can share your sorrow and joy, right? Sorrow mean your sadness, and joy mean happiness, and can get examples and advice. They will advise you if you are doing something wrong. They can advise you, and they can show them some examples. They can be examples for you to correct yourself, right? And you will get the protection from the society, and also the honor from the society. You will be a respectable person if you are interacting with the good people, right? So those are the things that you must know about the good things that you can find out in the society, right? So the bad things will also be there in the society. You must know that. Not having good education, that will be a problem. Then there will be many troubles or conflicts in the society, and company of bad friends. That means you are having friend relationship ships with the bad friends. Definitely you will affect badly with those people. And also ignoring religion is also a problem in the society. So currently something is happening there. They are not concerning about the people, especially the students and the young generation. They are not concerning about the religion until they get a negative effect to their life, right? Until they get a bad thing happen to their life, they are not at least trusting the religion. So that's a bad behavior. And misled, right? Misled by commercials, right? So especially when you are watching the TV, so you can get many commercials to be seen in your TV. So those are the things that make your mind to a negative mind, right? Or a bad mind. So be careful when you are watching the commercials also. And adherence to blind faith, right? Adherence to blind faith means you are trusting which is not there in the world, right? That is called blind faith adherence. And also practice ill-mannered behavior. You know, that always be like a lazy man, right? And not doing anything, right? And you are always trying to hide yourself from everything, right? So that is a bad thing. And commit illegal acts. You know the bad acts. You want to do bad things in the society. If you are doing that, means those are the good behavior. No, sorry, those are the bad behavior patterns in your life. And culturally inappropriate fashions. You know that. So like girls, when you are wearing inappropriate dresses in any place, so that will not disturb the society but will disturb for you, right? And the society will get a indirect effect from you, right? You will damage or you destroy the personals, right? So those are the things that can happen with this inappropriate fashion. And also using harmful food, that is a problem, right? So then listen and watch rubbish programs and videos in the internet, so other mass media. So I know that the parents have the responsibility, and also as students you must know mass media is one of the like an enemy for your future, right? And also it gives you the more positive things, but the things that you can get as the bad things are more than that, right? So be careful when you're when you are incorporating with or when you are acting with the mass media in the world, right? So those are the things that can be happen highly in the current world. At present with this development of the technology, and earn through illegal industries like toddy, alcoholic industry, and using these cigarettes, and they are preparing drugs, right? Casino, something like that. So don't be with those people, right? Earn through legal industries. Earn mean get money from legal industries, right? Addiction to liquor, drugs, cigarette, associates. So I have told you that that will be a problem for the society. Those are bad behavioral patterns or disciplinary patterns that you can see in a society, right? So but as a human you must know that both bads and good qualities will be there in the society. We can't make everybody a good person, right? But you can at least advise everybody to be good, but we can't change the nature, right? Right? We can't change the nature of the world, but you can at least try. So try your best as a student to change anybody, right? For example, mobile phones can use as an effective multinational equipment, and also we can use in the wrong manner also. You know that phones are highly incorporated. So now you are also watching this video through your mobile phone, so it is very useful for you to learn everything, but the other side is also there for that one, right? Like in every mass media device you can have the both pros and cons, right? So likewise you must do the activity number 4 and send it to me, your answer sheets, through the email, right? Let's move to the 3.5 subtopic. Let us respect our traditions, rules and regulations, right? So this is something related to your day-to-day activities, right? You are doing everything related to your tradition. Traditions mean which are coming from the previous generations to the current world. Rules and regulations maybe created by people, sometimes by the governments, by the school, by the institutes, right? Likewise, rules and regulations can be created by the people, but the traditions are coming with related to the past generations, right? So we are going to talk about some things like that. Right. So, when you concern about these traditions, Buddha traditions are related to the various stages of our social life. I told you that in your social life, you know that from the past you get the traditions. For example, if you tell that when the the national flag, right? School flag or national flag or anything, country's flag or school flag, when it is hoisted, you know that you have to be straightforward, right? And you have to be straight and stand, right? So that is not a rule or a regulation. That is a tradition that we have followed. When you are saying the school anthem or the national anthem, you have to be straight and sing that national anthem or the school anthem. So that is not a rule or regulation. That is a tradition that came from the past up to current situations, right? So that is the way that you understand in the meaning of a tradition, right? But rules and regulations are created by the people. For example, you must stop the vehicle with the red light, and you must move your vehicle with the green light. Likewise, you have many rules and regulations, right? And you should not drive in the right side, and you must walk in the right side, right? Likewise, you have many rules and regulations in the world, and you should not wear colored uniforms for the school, right? You must wear the school uniform. Those are the rules and regulations that you can find out in the society, right? So here you have a group discussion, right? So let's do it at school. So by getting your teacher's help, you can do this conversation, something like that, by yourself also, making you into two groups and discussing, right? So explaining what is tradition. So tradition mean what? So it is mentioned here. So tradition is respect the customs in our society. So respecting the customs in our society, around society, right? As I told you, right? Respecting the national anthem, like that, and also respecting elders. These are traditions, right? Protect one's own cultural heritage, right? That is a tradition. You know those things, right? For example, these Muslims, they know that they must highly concern about the Quran, and also they must not do these haram things, the things that not to be done. So those are not like rules and regulations, but they are doing it as a tradition, right, in their religion. Likewise, we also have many things to be followed as traditional things in the society, right? So rules, you can get some examples from this, in the this conversation, you can find out some examples for rules, right? So you know the traffic law, as I told you, green and red light thing, and also criminal law, when someone does a criminal activity, so it will be punished by using a rule or a regulation in the country. But the regulation is something like not like that. Regulation is set of conditions, right? Regulations are set of conditions accepted as not to be done, but that is not like a rule. If you are breaking a rule, you will get the punishment. But if you are breaking a regulation, it will be advised by the person who had created that regulation, right? So you will not get such a punishment than that you get in the rules, but something will get by you when you break in a regulation, right? So customs and manners, customs and manners that you have, like religious observances, you have to worship, and you have to worship your parents, right, and teachers also, and use of polite language. Those are called as customs, right? But manners mean never bite your nails and never bite or chew your hair, right? Like girls, most of the girls are doing, chewing their hair, right? And eavesdrop on other secret conversations, right? Don't be like Abiling or something like that, right? Never listen to the other people's conversation, and never look at what they are doing in their mobile phones or something like that. That is the most bad thing that you can happen. Though you can't break the rules, and also you can't break the manners, right? You can't peep into others' personal things, right? And then the other one is dress up in unsuitable dress codes, right? So that is a bad thing. So dress up with a suitable one. When you come to school, be neat and come, right? Come with the accepted uniforms to the school, likewise you have to be there. And state 4 advantages of following a tradition, right? You can live in a peaceful environment, right? You can minimize the conflicts if you are following the traditions, and build up love and trust among each other, right? Build up your friendly environment. So those are the good things that you can follow up or take from the advantages as advantages from the following traditions. And then the other one is state 3 advantages of following rules and regulations, right? So if you follow the rules and regulations, you will be a good leader. You know, the rules mean law, right? You will be a good leader, a righteous person in the society, you will get a peaceful environment without having any conflicts in the society, as you have followed the rules and regulations of the country. So those are the things that you can get as advantages by following the rules and regulations of a country, right? So those are the things that you can follow up, and I'm not going to talk about those things more than this, right? So you have to do the activity number 5 and send me the photos of the photo or the PDF copies of through the email or WhatsApp number, so I can get the corrections, do the corrections and provide you the supportive things, right? Okay, so let's move to the next topic, that is 3.6. Let us use resources economically, right? So in this subtopic, so you must know how to use the resources economically. Economically mean without destroying and keeping for the future, right? So that is called as this using the resources economically, right? And without wasting, without destroying the property or the resources, how to use the things, right? How to use the resources in the country, on the world, or in the state economically is the thing that you are going to talk in under the 3.6 subtopic, right? So resources, what are the resources? There are many resources. You know that you have artificial resources and also these natural resources, right? Out of these, all these things, we are highly concerned, we are highly covering up about these natural resources that we take from the nature, right? Resources are well blessed with or by the nature. Following other examples for resources, the sunlight, air, water, forest, land, mineral resources, and wild animals, and also us, right? Human beings are also one of the part of the nature, the environment, right? So all these animals and all the things are highly important for a person or a human being or an animal to live on this earth, right? So we must use everything very economically, right, without wasting. So those are the things that you must know, right? But you know that if you want to live a good life, you must use the resources effectively, right? Not just wasting the resources, right? So for example, if you are going to eat, you need the things from the environment, right, from the nature. You are eating everything from the nature. And also if you want to drive, you must buy a vehicle. The vehicle has to be made by using the metal materials, right? So to get those metallic things, you must grab things from the land, the earth, right? So each and everything belongs to the earth, belongs to the nature. We are grabbing the things from the nature and creating everything to use by us, right? So that's what I'm telling. When you are using the things, you must know that when you are taking one from the nature, that means you are losing one for the nature, right? Always you must protect the things and you must use everything economically. Like for example, if you are using these what is that, mineral resources, if you are using it, you cannot create it again, right? So when you grab crude oil from the earth, from inside of the earth, what will happen? They will not reborn again, right? You will lose everything. So likewise, you must know that resources are limited, but there are unlimited resources like sunlight, right? Sunlight is a unlimited resource, right? But you must know to protect everything. But the unlimited resources, we do not know what will be happen with the unlimited resources. Therefore the limited resources has to be protected, right? So let's move through the subtopic. So that when you're covering up this subtopic, you must know that we are going to make the things using the resources of the nature. So those things are called as man-made resources, right? Taking the materials from the environment, and we are preparing some things like furnitures, Furniture means the things that you are going to make with using wood, and glasswares using by the glass, and porcelain by using the porcelain materials like plates, cups, like that, and roofing tiles using the clay, and bricks by using this sand and the clay from the earth, right? So you are going to make many things by using the environmental resources. So those are called as man-made resources, right? So likewise, you must know everything is created by using the resources from the environment. So why you should we economize on resources? Why do we have to save resources, right? So when you talk about this, do you know the most of the resources we use are limited? You know, I have told you now, right? Water is a limited resource, right? And land is a limited resource, right? If you destroy them, you will not have a good life as a human being, right? So that is what we know, that was what is the most essential thing to a person to live. You can live without food, but you can't live without water. That must be keep in your mind, right? So we need food, water for food cultivation, industrially, right, to do the things in the industries, and also numerous things are there, right? You know, we need everything. We need to drink, we need to prepare food, we need water. We need water to, at least to run a train, you need water, and to run any vehicle, you need water to cool your engines and other things, right? So water is something like that. But most of the people are nowadays destroying and polluting, right? What is the meaning of pollution? Dushan, right? You know, they are polluting the water, and these economical, I mean the very limited resources, the environmental resources, they are destroying those things. But as a good citizen, you have to protect them. If anybody is destroying the things, you have to act against those bad people, right? And also land is also another limited resource. And for example, everything, right, everything belongs to land. The nature and the green environment and the surface of the earth and the gases of the space and other things, all are belongs to land, right? So you must highly uh, protect those things, right? So you know, we have only a limited land resource. For example, nobody can go to Mars or Jupiter to live. To live as a human being, we have only this planet called Earth, right? So Earth is also a limited place, right? Right. So you have to protect that one also. And so just as water, as land, we must know there are many limited resources like mineral oil, right? You know, everything, the things that you get, petrol and diesel, other things, you know, the crude oil are called as this mineral oil. And coal, you know, we need it to get the electricity power. And iron, you know, the metallic things. And copper, right? Tin, sand, mud, you know. So you have to go through with the dictionary and find out the meanings. And these are the things we have in our nature as limited resources. So we have to economize, we have to economically use these things, right? So the consumption of resources have been increased as a result, right? So as a result of the development of the industrial sector, right? Nowadays the consumption of resources have been increased because people are doing many new things. They are preparing new products, and they are starting new industries, right? What happened to they are highly asking for resources. When they are taking too much resources, what will happen? The remaining resources will be limited, right? Then there will be a futuristic problem, right? There will be problems in the future without having resources as we have used them at present without any limitation, right? So that will be a problem for you. And when we consider about the other cases in these paragraphs, right? So these days Sri Lanka mineral oil exploration is take place. You know that currently the government try to get the crude oil from the Sri Lankan mines, right, under the sea, under the ocean, right? But I don't think that will happen. If that is happening in this country, you will have to face many problems. If we found crude oil from the Sri Lankan sea area, there will be many natural disasters for us to face in the future, like earthquakes, hurricanes, volcano problems like that. We will be facing many things if we if we have found any crude oil in the area nearby our country, right? So coal also has not been found in Sri Lanka. So coal is not there in Sri Lanka, but we are importing those things from other countries, right? Importing means taking from other countries, right? So we have to use those resources limitedly and economically, because we are paying dollars for those things for the other countries. When you are paying, your money will go back to other countries, so we have to safeguard our money also, right? So how to prevent waste resources, right? How to prevent waste of resources. How do you protect your resources, and how you keep and store your resources without any waste, right? For example, water, open the water tap according to the need. Don't open every time your water tap. And the other thing, close tight after using the tap. You know, when you use your tap after drinking water, please tightly close it off, right? And then you use a vessel when using water for washing, right? So when you're washing, you have to use a vessel, right? That means don't just put it under the tap and wash. You must have a bucket or something like that and pour the water, and then you wash yourself, right? Or your things, right? Then electricity, unplug the equipment when they are not using, right? So remove the plugs if you are not using the electronic devices, right? And then iron clothes, so as much as possible at one time, right? So iron all the clothes at one time, then you can safeguard, or you can save the electricity, and use lights of high efficiency, right? You know that you have to use this LED bulb, something like that, in order to save your power consumption. And desks, chairs, and other equipments, for example, at school also, you must paint them and prevent without any corrosions, right? Corrosion mean what? In Sinhala we say malakada kanama, right? So prevent from corrosion, you have to paint the things and keep it very neatly and tightly. And also do not expose them to damp, right? Don't use them as something like also don't expose to this rain and other things when you are putting these chairs and desks under the water, under the wet surface areas, right? So definitely they will be corroded, right? So protect everything, because those are limited resources for you, right? So advantages to us of the prevention of waste resources: you can save money, you will get the advantage as something like that, right? If you are not wasting the resources, you will save money, save resources, and there won't be many, I mean not many, big environmental disasters, right? Okay, so those are the things that you must concern about when you are using the resources economically, and also about these environmental resources, because we need to keep everything for the future generation, right? Use everything for by remaining some part at least for the future generation. Then you will get a bright, and also you will be a good citizen in the country, right? So the activity is waiting for you, right? So you have to do it and send it to me, right? So I think this is the last chapter, or no, I think it's so 4.2 is also there. 4.2 means the new lesson, right? So I think we can come to the end of this session. So let us protect public property. So we have a number of needs, right? So to be accomplished in our daily life: food, home, clothes. You know the basic needs of a person is what? You know that food, home, and clothes are the basic needs of a human. But there are many more: education, getting treatments for the diseases, traveling, enjoying the leisure time, right? Those are some of the extra needs. I mean the basic needs, not the basic needs, but the extra needs that you are expecting, right? So to be accomplished as a human from using the public things, right? Okay, so anyhow, so when you are accomplishing these types of I mean the needs, Pute, you must know about how to protect in this public property also, right? So for example, you know that for the education you will have these schools and hospitals for your getting treatments, right? So you must protect these things, right? You must protect the things and the places, right? The premises, and also people. You have to obey them, you have to respect them. And because why we are having those as public properties for you to have in a country, right? So the public things mean the government things, and also those are the things that is for you as a citizen. But we must I mean use those things effectively without destroying or damaging any things, right? So so other than these needs, there are many more needs, okay, right? So likewise, when you talk about those things, we'll move to the other parts of this things, right? Anyhow, the services and I mean service stations and their property, right? The service stations, their property, which have been established with the contribution of the general public, right? So you have paid taxes for the public property, right? So if you have paid taxes and if the government has used those tax money to create the public property, so anything that has been created by using the contribution of the general public to fulfill your own needs, right, to fulfill their own necessities, right, needs, right, are called as public properties, right? So you know that when a hospital is created, that will be created by using your tax money, the money that you have paid as taxes, right? So that is for you. So if you are the person destroying the things, that means you are destroying your things, right? So that's why I'm telling you, public property means your property, but that has to be protected, but not your own property. It has a contribution of the general public. Everybody has paid taxes for the things that you are using as your public property. Okay, so the nature of the public property, you can identify many things, right? So main objective is what in a public property? Well-being of the general public and provide services to them, right? So thinking about you positively and provide every service for you without any hesitations are the main objectives in a public property. And also these facilities have been provided by the government without expecting any profit. Why? They don't have to get the profit from these things because you have paid and these are for you, right? Don't you find profit, right? Profit mean benefits from these public properties. All the benefits has to be there for the human, the citizens in the country only, not for one person, right? And also available to everyone. You know that public property means for everybody. That means for the public. You can use, anybody can use those public properties, right? So but you have to use it very carefully without damaging the things, right? So buildings, desks, chairs, computer, right, and labs, books, and laboratory equipments, sports equipment, everything are called as public property that are there in your school, right? And when you talk about the other things like the bus stands, railway stations, then bus stops, and what are the other things, airport, right, highways, right? So everything are there for you, right? So they have been made those things by using your money, and you have to have a responsibility of protecting them by your own also, right? So we should not misuse these things, right? Like these roads and the other things, you should not misuse the things, right? And that is a special case that you must know, right? And when you are talking about this electricity, right, every day everyone has to use the use mean protect the power stations like Lakshapana, Victoria. Likewise, you have many power stations, so you have to protect them. Don't destroy those things because they are the places that we get the electricity, and we have to protect everyone and everything and every equipment and every place that have been used on as the public property, right? So let's move to the advantages of protecting the public property. So you must read these things, but I'm not going to read everything from here to here, this whole part. So you should have a thorough knowledge by reading by yourself about these things. If you have any doubts regarding the words, you can ask me through the comment section, then I can reply you, and you can send messages to the WhatsApp for me, then I can teach you more about the things, right? Okay, right. So let's move to the advantages of protecting the public property. So you can provide efficient service, right? If you protect the bus stands, every time you can get a bus from the bus stand, right? And also if you are protecting your bus stop nearby your house, so other people also can get a bus from that bus stop. If you are damaging that, if you are destroying the place, that means nobody can go there, right? So you must protect the public property in order to have a efficient service, as well as it saves expenditure of renewing and maintenance. I told you repairing cost, there won't be any repairing cost if you are not damaging or if you are protecting the public property. The other thing, be able to improve the facilities to ensure good living standards. I know that. So you also must know that if you are protecting the public property, so you can live your life also without any problems. Your standards, living standards will move day by day as a good thing, right? As a positive thing, right? And having the improvement in the facilities that you are having as the public property, and preserve them for the needs of future generation. Protect everything for the future. I told you many times of that one, right? But measures to protect public property. What are the things that you can take to protect the public property? First one, you can get it as your duty and responsibility. Get it as a responsibility for you to protect the things, right? If anybody is damaging or vandalizing the bus stop of your village, please let him, or you can advise him not to do that one. And also that means the avoiding the misuse also. Same thing is called in that scenario, right? So, and inform the relevant institutions about the damages, right? If there's a damage, at least you can call to the police and tell, right? And give same opportunity to others, right? If you are also using the bus stop, and also if there are many people in the country or this in your village are being waiting for using the public property, please let them also to use it. Like normally in you know this in I mean in urban areas like Colombo, something like that, they have their public toilets and something like that, right? So everybody should use it and everybody should clean it. Likewise, you must have a responsibility and also a duty when you're maintaining or when you're measuring the protection of the public property, right? Okay. And also the pay maintenance fee regularly, right? So if you are paying tax, pay the tax regularly. Please don't hide the tax. If you are hiding, mean your maintenance will not be happen for your what is that, your public property. Then it will be damaged or that will be destroyed very soon without having any upgraded things in your property, right? So inform the authorized institutions when you find any kind of serious damage. If there's a damage in your public property, please inform the relevant person by using your mobile phone or anything. You can call them and let them aware about those damages that had happened to the public property, right? So educate the others on protecting the public property. So educate the others also another thing. Let others also to know what are the purposes, what are the advantages that you can take by protecting the public property. Okay, let's then move to the other part. So activity number 7 is there for you. I'm not going to talk about these activity things. You can ask it from your school teacher, right? Okay, then let's move to 4.2. Let us protect the environment. So the environment created without the intervention of man is called the physical environment, right? So without my or your help, if there's anything had been created on this earth, that is called as the physical environment, right? Sea, air, waterfalls, rivers, animals, natural reefs, right? These are not the things that we have made. Those have been created naturally without any person. So those are the things that we call as the environment. If they have been created by their own, please don't destroy them by yourself, because that is not belong to you. That is belong to only for the mother of nature, right? So nobody can change the nature, right? So if you are going to change the nature, that means definitely you will get the reply with the bad things like this COVID-19 and something like that, right? So if you are going to change the nature, nature will change you as soon as possible. So you must know that you are also part of the nature. You also have been created by the mother nature, right? You cannot damage anything, right? So the other thing is, next we have to talk about the man-made objects. You know those things, right? Physically things that you can see, uh, like buildings and houses and hotels, I mean conference halls and highways. Everything are not the natural resources. Those are called as the physical, artificial or man-made objects in the world. So, but everything has been created in the natural environment, right? Not in our land. All the things are belongs to the earth or the mother nature. So we'll go through with some points regarding this water. You know, many things are going to be polluted with the effect of human. You can see in the first photo also there is a human using fertilizer and chemical things for the vegetables and the things that you are going to eat in the market from you are getting from the market to eat, right? So therefore the damage to water, land, air has increased gradually. Therefore what has happened today, this is a topic that always we are going to talk about, that is environmental pollution. pollution is damaging the environment, right? So pollution in damaging anything is called as pollution, and environmental damage means destroying the environment, right? So you know the many components are there in the environment, like water, land, air, sound, right? So sound means something like different type, right? We are not going to talk about that as a resource from the environment, but water, land, air are the things that you can see in this environment. So if you, what are the things, what are the uh, ways that you pollute the components of the environment? First thing is water, you are disposing, right? You are disposing the waste, disposing waste into the water, that is a problem, and using chemical fertilizer and agrochemicals. You know, agrochemical means using chemical things to the agricultural things like paddy fields and something like that. So then you will destroy the water in the world, right? So this is also another example in the second photo also. You are using disposing the waste of your factories to the water, then you know what will happen to the water, right? So next one is land. Same thing is there, disposal of waste improperly. You have seen in many videos that animals are eating this polythene and other things because of the improper disposal of waste, right? And the other thing is what then the other thing is chemical fertilizer, using the same thing, right? Chemical fertilizer for the land is also another problem, and agrochemical, same thing is there. And also destroying the forests, that is called as destruction of forests, right? You are destroying the forest, cutting trees, and we're damaging the natural beauty or the greenish things in the world. So that is also another way of polluting the environment, right? Next one is air. You know, you are living, right? You are sending many smoke, I mean bad smoke out of these factories using these tunnels to the air. What will happen? Your air will be polluted as soon as possible, right? So smoke released, and also vehicles also. You know that the engine smoke from the engine, that will also affect for the environment. It will damage the whole system of the air in the space, right? So those are another examples for the ways of polluting the environmental components, right? So sound pollution is also another thing, right? So you are knowing that the horns and the sounds that are coming from the loudspeakers and vehicles, right? And also when you are blasting, right, anything like a bomb or something like that, the sound also pollute the environment, right? So the birds and these animals cannot bear the frequencies of these sounds. What will happen? They will damage or they will be killed by the people with having this sound pollution also, right? So those are the things that you must go through, right? So excessive sounds, right? Then sound of horns and also rock blasting, right? You know that using the what are those things we called as using dolomites and other chemical explosive things, right? You must know about those things also, right? So then how to protect the environment as a good citizen? This is for you, not for me. I have already studied the things, but you as students in grade 6, you also have to go through with these things, right? How to protect the environment as a good citizen, right? Be sensitive to the environment, right? Be sensitive, love the environment, right? And avoid disposing waste, right? Avoid disposing waste. Don't dispose the waste to the water. Keep the reservoirs and the surroundings clean. You know that you have to make the cleanliness. And the other thing, use carbonic fertilizer like what is that? We know that what is carbonic fertilizer, compost, something like that for your instead of chemical fertilizer, and use local agricultural methods, right? Traditional methods. Proper disposal of harmful objects, right? Like CFL bulbs and glasses. You have to properly dispose those things without disposing to the natural environment, right? And this proper disposal of garbage, right? People, please encourage the people, give them the knowledge of recycling garbage as projects, and use decaying garbage. Decaying mean the garbage that can be that will be decayed, right? Decayed means dirapattu, right? So then it can be something like an organic fertilizer. And use the less sound, right? Don't use the sounds with disturbing. So use the sounds without disturbing others, right? So activity number 8 is there for you, and we are at the at the end of the sessions, right? So end of the lesson, you can then see here, let us preserve the local identity with pride. So this must be read by you. I don't want to talk about this part, right? This is about your country, about this Sri Lanka, right? Motherland, right? So you must study this and come to school. When you must go to school by studying these general knowledge things, right? So this is about Sri Lanka, right? So our country has a range of climates. Sri Lankans, you can get the hot climate within 6 hours from any place of your country, and you can get the cool climate within 6 hours. So there's no any other country like this. You can feel the both at once, and many warm climate, cool climate, chill climates, right? And hot climates, you can get everything within 6 hours in any part of this country, right? So that is the most important thing that you can gain from Sri Lanka, right? So that's why I'm telling you every time, please protect this country, right? And also in America, there's no any trees, right? But they are trying to grow trees, right? But we are having trees, but we are going to destroy the trees. That is the bad thing that we are going to do in this country, right? So likewise, you can have follow up in this paragraph under the 4.3, let us preserve the local identity with pride uh, session, so subtopic. So go through with that one, and you can listen to this song Ratna Deepa Janbhoomi by I think from W.D. Amardewa Shurin, right? So you know that Visharada W.D. Amardewa, he is the person who sang this song. So you can find it from the YouTube and follow up that one, and then you can study the thing. So this is the English translation of that one, that song. So I don't think that you need you need this to be memorized or to study. Anyhow, if you know it, you can go through with your own mother tongue. Okay, so there are some photos also here, right? So search for the photos and you can find out the things, right? So you can see the first one is nearby Kalaweva, that is called as Aukana, right? The Lord Buddha's statue of Aukana is the first one, and then the other one is the Samadhi statue of Lord Buddha, right? That is found from this is from Kalaweva, and Samadhi statue is from Anuradhapura, and the moonstone, right? You call Sandakata Pahana is also from. I could think that is also from Anuradhapura, right? So from Mahameuna Uyana, yeah, that is also in there. And also you can see the other thing is I think it is called as and also there's another thing like a Kovil. So I couldn't find out the exact name for this one. So you can search it from the internet. What is this? And you can go through with that one. So the other thing, this is also Sigiriya, right? And this is I think tank, maybe Tisarava or Parakram Samudra or anything like that, right? So you can see there are different things in this country that you can feel and enjoy looking at. And also these are the resources that we have to protect from, that we have gained from the past, right? Without these things we cannot be a pride person, cannot be a proud person in this country, right? These are the things that we have, that has been done by the past people in this world, in this country. So that's why we are telling you cannot do anything in this world, in this country, without looking at the past of the country. You can gain many knowledge from the past, right? So past mean our history. So history creates many things, right? So history can teach you and make you much more educated and talented and skillful by creating many things with the help of the things that you gain from the past, right? So I'm not going to talk about many the things, right? So you should know that there is something called Yoda Ella project, right? So there is a superb irrigation system which was there in Sri Lanka, right? And I'm not going to talk about those things, right? There is a case here, so you must follow the internet and find out the things regarding this case, right? uh, the irrigation system under the Kala River and in between the Kala River and the Tisa River. So what is that? You can follow up through the internet and find out the information about that one, right? So I think the name is the Yoda Ella concept, right? So Yoda Ella project, right? So you must follow up it and find the information through the internet, right? Okay, so the local culture, right? Sri Lankan culture, when you are talking about this culture, you must know that Sri Lanka having a religious festivals and also very religious culture. We are having a religious culture, right? And also and special artistic creations based on religion. We have different traditional things in the country to learn, right? And also there are many dancing things and carvings, artistic things, right? So many things are there. When we talk about or when we discuss about the culture and the traditions and the religious things of this country, right? And the literary works, right? Your folk tales and folklores, right? So you must know about everything. And indigenous medicines, local customs, right? Medicine local customs, right? And how we treat for the people in past, right? So everything is there to be known by you. Irrigation culture, indigenous medicine local customs, literary works and folklores, right? And religion and religious festivals and artistic creations, right? So those are the things you must keep it in your mind when you're facing for the exams and for the questions. Also study this mass subject, not the mass subject, mass lesson, right? You have to learn a lot in this lesson before you face for the exam in the third term. And natural resource, you can see these gems, right? Those are called as the mineral resources. And also the wild animals, waterfalls and other flora, the flowers and fauna, right? You can find out many things. And then grain, vegetables like that, fruits, crops, natural harbors, that, like Gokan and also Trincomalee harbor, right? You can find out many things like these things that has been created by the nature in this country. And local products, Sri Lankans are highly popular for clothes, for porcelain things, roofing tiles, bricks, right? And brass works, these are the brass works, right? And wooden works, right? These masks and other things, right? And yeah, that masks, right? And reedware and foodware, local creations, right? Everything will be there for you to enjoy the speciality of our country, right? So then we have to talk about the importance of appreciating the local products and resources. You must be proud of your locality, right? You must safeguard your brands, right? Of the Sri Lankan brands, you have to safeguard the brands, and you must give a priority for the things of your country, right? And maximize the use of local resources. Always use the local resources, don't use these imported things, right? And so you must create new job opportunities by using the local things, right? Then everybody will get a good job and they will be proud about the country and they will work for the country's future, right? So always start different types of products using local resources to open the path for new job opportunities, right? And save money for the country, right? And fresh quality products you can create by using your own resources of the country. And also you can start new productions, right? You can use and you can make innovations in foods and many other uh, things, right? And also you can buy at a low price, right? With having everything from the country, so your price will be very low because you are not importing from other countries. And everybody will have a faith in the products because this is a proud moment for the country and we are preparing our things by ourselves, so everybody will be proud about you and also about the country, as everything is belongs to the country, the material to the end product. To be able to generate good attitudes, right? That you can say I'm a Sri Lankan and made in Sri Lanka, right? So you can use good dignity to your country by preparing everything locally. Right, so that is the end of this lesson, right? අපි ඉතින් මේ අපි end එකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන දරුවනේ. මේකද අපි කතා කරා කොහොමද අපි language එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. මේ exam එකට මම හිතනවා මේ දේවල්, so this will be the, these are the things that they will cover up in the exam. These points are highly concerning when the people, I mean the when the paper is preparing, right? So they will concentrate about these points highly, but you must know that you have to study the whole paper, right? So they are covering up everything, right? So you should know about these cases, right? So use the polite language, and respect the ideas of others and listen to others, right? And disciplinary, you have to behave, right? And identify what is good and what is bad, and respect the traditions, rules, and the regulations, and also use the resources economically and protect the public environment. I mean, not the environment, property, right? Environment also you have to protect, and appreciate the indigenous products. The indigenous mean local products, made in Sri Lanka products. You have to appreciate, you have to praise, right? You have to protect the dignity of the country, right? So those are the things that you have to follow up when you are talking about the things regarding this chapter. So anyhow, all these parts are belong to you, and to be a good citizen you must study this lesson. This is like a good story, right? So anyhow, within these 2 hours I have completed up to everything, right? මම මේ පැය දෙක ඇතුළත මම ඔයාලට මුළු පාඩමම කියලා දුන්නා. අපි ස්කෝල් එක නම් පුතේ පැය පීරියඩ් විනාඩි 40ක පීරියඩ් බර ගානක් අපිට මේක කරන්න වෙනවා, right? So ඔයාලා මේ වීඩියෝ එක බලන්න, right? So අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේක ඉගෙන ගත්ත දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් මට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කමෙන්ට් සෙක්ෂන් එකේ කමෙන්ට් එකක් දාන්න. මේකෙන් ඔයාලට ප්‍රයෝජනයක් වුණා නම්. Right, so I'm going to stop the video. Making this video too much will also make you boring, right? So do the activities, and if you have a chance, send all these activities to me, and I'm going to check you and check the answers, and if I have any clarifications I will mention in those things, and I will send the corrected things for you through your through my mail or through using my mobile numbers and the WhatsApp numbers and other things, right? Okay, so I'm going to end up this session now. So we will meet in the with a new lesson, right? And hope you will have a good time and prepare for the exams, and also study well for you for have a better future, and also to be a good citizen in this country without having any conflicts between you, and be a good citizen too, right? So hope and I wish you all for a good and a better future, and we will meet with a new video, right? So till then, have a nice time as a student. Okay, bye.